All right, we're going to start by saying Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yaharashai, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yaharashai, Kohala Yahweh Ba'ashem Yaharashai, Kohala Yahweh Ba'ashem Yaharashai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this doctrine in truth and sincerity. Shalom to the elect. The Heavenly Father's name is Yahweh, which means He is or He exists. Ba'ashem, in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. We know His name to be Yaharashai, which means He is the deliverer, He is the Savior for the Hebrew Israelites from the pedigree of your father. Ba'ashem, in the name of the Hakwadash, which means the Holy Spirit, that's able to give us the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of who we are, which are the true Hebrew Israelites. The so-called Negro, so-called Latino, so-called Native American, or other speckled bird looking like the other nations, and your spirit bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, then you could be one elect. Shalom. We've been discontinued from our heritage because we went off on the false gods and false idols, not following the law, statute, commandments that was given to us by our forefathers. And because of those offenses, we were sent into captivity. But through our Lord Yaharashai HaMashiach being that perfect sacrifice in the flesh to the Heavenly Father, He's been given all power to be able to sit on the right-hand side of the Heavenly Father Yahweh, to be able to open the seals of this book, to be able to give the understanding to the elect, the ones that would be quickened with the understanding of the scriptures and would be able to stand upon their feet and to be able to speak the message of Yahweh Shemashai in truth and sincerity. And in that message being proclaimed throughout the four corners of the earth, okay, the Lord's elect would come into the fold, okay, and they would come into the fold of the wisdom of what is about to happen, okay, which is what great famine, okay, great pestilence, great evils, okay, but the Lord has our back if we return back to Him, okay, meaning back and turn, face towards Yahweh Shema Shai, okay, and how do you face the Lord? Far as the Lord's face is what the presence of the Lord. Okay, being involved in the scriptures, watching as well as praying, okay, calling upon the correct name and having sound doctrine, okay, because these disasters and these events are coming down the pipeline, okay. Start right here, 2nd Ezra 6 and 18, 2nd Ezra 6 and 24. At time, friends shall fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and 3 hours there shall not run. Okay, so friends are going to be fighting over one against another. Okay, they're going to be fighting over food, water, shelter, okay, places to be able to be at, okay, and everybody's not going to be allowed, right? Far as the love of many shall wax cold. Okay, going into the mental stability of the people. Okay, and the springs of the fountains, far as this truth is not going to be out there. That's why it speaks about in Sirach 5 and 7, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord while He may be found. Okay, because there's going to be, Egyptian against Egyptian. Okay, fighting one against another, right? And so, this lesson is going to be centered around just news and prophecy, because we have, prophecy popping off, and we're supposed to report on it, okay, and give our people warning. So this is one of the warnings of what the food shortages that's going to be happening. Okay, so I'm just going to play a little bit of this, right?
Saying new government regulations that can and will put many of them out of business.
In the state of Oregon, they're going after and shutting down local producers, farmers, and small businesses due to the new definition of this CAFO bill. Now, a CAFO is a confined animal feeding operation that covers everybody that raises livestock. They're making them dig new trenches, new water treatment plants, and concreting all their corrals the animals are being fed on. Now, if they come to your farm or where...
So, real quick, who's doing this? Okay, this is the wicked. Okay, this is the wicked that would create a siege on the people to have them bowing down. Okay, this would be, let me get it, Psalms 10 and 2. Okay, this would be Malachi 1 and 4, the border of wickedness. Okay, Esau, Edom, the so-called white men of today, the international bankers, they would come down with great wrath because they know that they have but a short time, and they would begin to, get at the food supply, the water, okay, and even try to control the narrative as far as them being exposed. Okay, and this would be what the wicked, the harbingers of death. Okay, Psalms 10 and 2. The wicked in his pride do persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. Okay, and what's one of the devices is that controlling the food supply. okay, having the farmers, paying the farmers to not farm, okay, coming up with what unrighteous decrees. These are some of their devices that they're using on what the poor. So the ones that don't have an army, because they have their military, okay, and the poor is speaking about you Israelites, okay, but even the people that are at the bottom, okay, even the low level Edomites, okay, Esau Edom is going to come in like a flood, also, okay, so it's going to be on all people, okay, particularly here in Babylon the Great, because this is the belly of the beast, okay, so this is Psalms 10:2 in the NLT. The wicked arrogantly hunt down the poor; let them be caught in the evil they plan for others. So, how are they arrogantly hunting down the poor? Okay, they're watching you on Facebook, they're watching you on Instagram, they're watching you on YouTube, okay, and they're creating what a profile, okay, to be what the Revelation 12:10, to be accuser of thy brethren. So in that day, for the things that you believe in, okay, you're not going to be able to buy and sell, because that goes right into what Revelation 13:16. Because if you're speaking against the government, far as their unrighteous decrees, okay, you're going to be called what, a dissident, and put in these different camps. So that's how they're hunting down the people. Okay, so that's why those that don't fear the name, okay, they're going to find out that when you call on those other names, Most High, Christ bless, you're not going to be lifted up far as in that tower. Okay, because the righteous would call upon the name in truth and sincerity. Okay, and that would be what their stability. Okay, far as when Esau Edom truly comes in. But first he's hunting you down by what? Gathering information. Okay, doing a diligent search, right? And that is what the this is Psalm 64:2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. Yeah, so the gang of wrongdoers. Okay, and what are they doing? They're plotting against what? The ones that are at the bottom. Okay, the ones that what don't have, as far as any military weapons, where they're defenseless. Okay, but the Lord has given us that protection far as this word, okay, and that shield of Yahweh Shema Shai, that he is our rock, right? Psalms 18:2, the Lord Yahweh is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer, my power, my strength, in whom I will trust, my buckler, my horn, and my salvation, my high tower. Okay, so a tower, okay, as far as in the ancient times, you would have a tower, and it's able to look down and see when the enemies are coming in. Okay, and that gives you an advantage to be able to move to a different place, or a place that's more safe. Okay, and that's what the Lord's doing. He's guiding us down that straight path. Okay, by giving us this great wisdom. Okay, and that rock is our Lord Yahweh Shai on a solid foundation. So when these these different events happen, okay, we're able to know that Yahweh Shema Shai has our back, because one of the scriptures speaks about the Lord's servant shall eat. Isaiah 65:13. Therefore, thus said the Lord thy power, behold, my servant shall eat, but you shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but you shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but you shall be ashamed. Okay, so the ones that mocked and scoffed, they're going to be ashamed. Okay, and the Lord's going to what? Choose their delusions. Okay, Isaiah 66:4. It says, I will also choose their delusions. I will bring their fears upon them, because when they called, none did answer. When I spoke, they did not hear, but they did evil before my eyes and chose that in which I delighted not. Okay, so you're going to reap what you sow. So in those reaping the cardinal rewards, they're going to get caught up in their devices. Okay, this is Proverbs 1:31. Okay, because this is going to be on all people here in Babylon the Great. You're not going to be able to stack up food at your house. Okay, these food preppers, because again, Esau Edom knows what you're buying. Okay, that's why he has stuff on the credit card. Okay, he's saying, oh, okay, these guys are stacking up stuff. Okay, these guys are linked into these people, because what are they doing? They're also tracking people's phones, who you're talking to. Okay, again, this is the wiles of the devil. Proverbs 1:31. Therefore shall they eat the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. For turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. Yeah, so the ones that thought that they trusted in Esau Edom, they took the mark of the beast, or they, they're trusting in the make America great. They're trusting in Trump. They're voting for Trump or Biden. Okay, these are the simpletons. Proverbs 1:32. For simpletons turn away from me to death. Yeah, and what's death? Esau Edom. Okay, he's the wicked. He is the pride. He's the one that's what hunting you down. Okay, he is that roaring lion. Okay, fools are destroyed by their own complacency. Yeah, their complacency. Again, their own laurels, their own morals. Okay, instead of trusting in Yahweh Shem Shai. 33. But all who listen to me will live in peace, untroubled by fear of harm. Yeah, so untroubled by fear of harm. Through much tribulation we shall enter to the kingdom. But those that trust in their own, cardinal means, okay, this is what's going to happen. Let me read it again. 30. They rejected my advice and paid no attention when I corrected them, because right now the Lord's actually correcting the ones that he loves. Okay, with what? Reprove and rebuke, by having his men on the highways and the byways, and to be able to cast down those imaginations and to be able to follow what? The straight path instead of the broad way. Okay, which the broad way leads to death. The straight path leads to life. Proverbs 1 and 31. Therefore, they must eat the bitter fruit of living on their own way, choking on their own schemes. Yeah, so choking on their own schemes. Okay, their own plots, right? Because this devil is what? Cooking up. Okay, going back to Psalms 10, by cutting off the food supply. Okay, cutting off the food supply and making these farmers where they're not even rich. Okay, they do it more for just the love of it. Okay, but they don't make a lot of money. They make just enough to get by, right? So this is Psalms 10 and 2 in the NLT. The wicked arrogantly hunt down the poor. Let them be caught in the evil they are planned for others. Okay, for they brag about their evil desires. They praise the greedy and curse the Lord. Yahweh Shem Shai. Okay, so how do they do that? By what? Coming after the Lord's men. Okay, by coming with slander. Okay, and they brag about their evil desires. Okay, they're openly talking about, the 2030 agenda. Okay, you will eat bugs. You eat bugs, and then you will own nothing, and you will own nothing and be happy. Okay, this is what they're boasting about, their evil desires, telling you that there's immortality, that they have immortality. Okay, this is and what are they doing? They want to take away the Bible, saying the Bible is not, it doesn't. We got to rewrite the Bible. Okay, we got to, we're gonna have AI, which is artificial intelligence, rewrite the Bible, because the Bible doesn't fit what their life. Okay, as far as it doesn't fit, let me say it doesn't fit. They don't fit as the people of the Bible. Okay, because they don't have a zeal. Okay, they don't have a zeal according to they don't have no zeal. Okay, they're what? Scheming and plotting. Okay, and then what? Boasting against the Most High. They are what? Being covetous, because they actually want what we have, which is what? The promise. So in that, they want to cut the cords. Okay, because let me get this. This is Psalms 2. Psalms 2 and 1. Why did the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? So the heathen raging, okay, they're causing commotion. Okay, they're causing tumults around the world. They're causing what? Coups around the world, which is making the people be in an uproar. Okay, where you have thousands and thousands of immigrants that are coming into Babylon the Great. That's what the heathen raging. Because what are they doing? They're pushing forth a method that they use, which is called the Hegelian dialectic, which is pressure from below, pressure from above. Okay, order out of chaos in the Latin, which means order out of chaos, problem, action, solution. Okay, so they are raging. Okay, and then also they're passing what? Unrighteous decrees. As far as with the farmers, they have to farm a certain way, which is going to cost them more money. Okay, which is and they know that. They know it's going to cost the people more money, and they're not going to be able to sustain their prosperity in their farming. Okay, they're not going to, eventually they're going to have to what? Revert to again, carnal means, because America is carnal. Now, our weapons of warfare are not carnal, but we know America is the most carnal city, or carnal country. Okay, so the heathen are raging and imagine a vain thing. So what's that vain thing? That's their New World Order. Okay, and even our people are down with it. The Puff Daddies are down with it. The Jay-Z's are down with it. Okay, because a lot of that Puff Daddy stuff is probably just bread and circus. Now, we know this stuff is true. Okay, but why is it coming out right now? because it's part of what the bread and circus. It's part of the enchantments. Okay, to be able to keep you distracted, so they can be able to put things in place, put legislation in place. For instance, like we're watching on the video, I'm going to go back to it. Okay, but they're imagining what a vain thing, their new world order. Okay, the kings of the earth set themselves, and rulers take counsel together against Yahweh and against his anointed, saying, okay, it says, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. So them casting away trying to cast away our cords, as far as our connection with Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Because if you take that mark, then you are now, which that mark in Revelation 13 and 16 is what? Something physical. And if you take that mark, that means you're not of the Lord. That means you're not of the elect. So what Esau Edom's trying to get you to do is what? Get inside with your temple. Okay, let me go and get it. As far as with these different philosophies, okay, and that would be with the image of the beast, which the beast, as far as the beast system, okay, is America spearheading the charge and NATO joined unto it, okay, and that it would be the Roman Empire, the deadly wound being healed, okay, the rebirth of the Roman Empire, okay, we're in the second leg of that Roman Empire, so they're through that beast system, they have gathered these other nations, over 190 countries to what? Sign over their sovereignty rights. Okay, which means sovereignty means, again, any type of rights that these countries had as far as their type of laws. Now they're under a IMF or they're under a WEF, as far as regime. Okay, which we know is just the elites that are controlling everything. Okay, and what that will be controlled by is what the currency. Okay, so you have the currency right now of the petrodollar, but now everything is beginning to go digital. Okay, you have Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, everything is digital, and this is set up for a reason, so they can be able to control and watch everything that's going on, the buying and selling. Okay, so they have the credit cards, they have pay with your phone and things like that. But what's the ultimate goal is to have it embedded inside your hand or your forehead. So first they come at you with these different philosophies, which is what? Pushing their image of man on man, woman on woman, transformer, bestiality, pedestry, and now what? Transhumanism. Okay, which all these things are what? They're profane and outside the temple. Okay, and if you follow these ways, then again you're outside the temple. Okay, when we're supposed to be clean by the washing of the word. Okay, and covered under what? The blood of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Meaning that we got to speak the actual truth. We can't just lie, sit there and lie. But you have a lot of people just lying. And again, those are those people that also imagine the vain thing, because our own people are involved in that. You have people that know they're Israelites and they're pushing doctrines that are what? Roman Catholicism doctrines. Okay, as far as hell being a place where you burn forever. Okay, instead of speaking about the actual facts, for instance, the mark of the beast and what that actually is, and that if you take it, you will have no rest day nor night, and you will have a grievous sore, ulcer or cancer, if you take it, and that would be a badge of servitude if you took it, as far as the physical mark. But first, they're entering inside what? Your temple. Okay, let me read the scripture, and this is the reason why. 2 Thessalonians 2:4. Who oppose and exalt himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he is thy power, sit in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. So this devil in pride, has lifted himself up, okay, believing that he is a God. When you read Ezekiel 28, it speaks about that, okay, but it also speaks about how these devils are no God, they're just mortal men, okay. And it goes into, you trusting in the modern day Egyptian is going to lead to what you being broken down, okay? Because you are the temple of the Lord, okay? You were actually bought with a price. So when you defile yourself with the ways of this world, as far as the philosophies, you're actually belittling yourself, okay? 1 Corinthians 3:16. Don't you realize that all of you together are the temple of the Most High, and that your spirit of our power lives in you? Our power will destroy anyone who destroys his temple, for our power's temple is holy, and you are the temple. So holy means sacred, okay? So you taking the mark or you following the philosophies of this world is not holy, okay? And we are the temple. So again, Ephesians 4 and about 22 speaks about we're not supposed to be tossed by, or Ephesians 4, we're not supposed to be tossed by every wind and doctrine. You hear something or you see something with the shiny garment, and then you jump over to that. Okay, this is not about entertainment. This is about the actual truth. And knowing the truth shall what set you free. Okay. 1 Corinthians 3:18. Stop deceiving yourselves. If you think you are wise by your own world standards, you need to become a fool to be truly wise. For wisdom of this world is foolishness unto the Most High. As the scriptures say, he traps the wise in the snare of their cleverness. Yeah, so anybody that's not following that righteous path is ultimately going to be broken, because they are building what? A vain temple. Okay. But this devil wants to enter inside what your your physical temple with that mark, which would be profane. Okay. And so these kings are what? Gathering around the earth. That's what the Davos meeting is about. Okay. That's what the Bilderberg meeting is about. Okay. You have the IMF meeting that's coming up, which is the International Mutual Funds, which they control, again, 190 countries to bring in what? The digital currency. Then you have the SWIFT, central bank and digital currency. So all roads are leading to Karagma. All roads are leading to what? Prophecy. That major prophecy coming down. And they're trying to what? Break our bands asunder as far as our relationship with the Lord, by coming with false doctrine and coming with enchantments and sorcery, and coming with punishments for what? Preaching the Bible. Okay, but the elect is not going to be fazed by that. Okay, because we see the vision and we see the end goal, and the end goal is what? The kingdom of Yahweh Hashem Shai. Okay, it says Psalms 2:4, and he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord shall have him in derision. Yeah, because those that are against the Lord are going to be in derision, because there is no counsel against the Most High. Okay, but there is going to be chaos. There is going to be chaos in the city. Okay, Proverbs 21:30. There is no wisdom nor understanding nor counsel against Yahweh Shema Shai. Okay, so there's no wisdom nor counsel against the Lord. Okay, this is Psalms 21:11. Okay, Psalms 21:11. For they intended evil against thee; they imagined a mischievous device which they are not able to perform. So they're not going to be able to succeed. Okay, on the very elect. Okay, because we see it coming. Right, so Psalms 10:5. The wicked are too proud to seek the Most High, and they seem to think that the power is dead. Yeah, so, but we know that what our Lord liveth. Okay, and how does he live? He lives through everything that's breathing. Okay, everything that you see breathing, that's how you know the Lord lives it, because he's in every spirit. Okay, and our Lord do liveth. Right, let me get that scripture real quick. And this devil will not seek after what Yahweh Shema Shai. Why? Because going back to Genesis 4, okay, where the Lord would that Cain would never be able to set his face upon what the Lord, meaning that he would never learn righteousness. Okay, he would always be what wicked, right? Because you have what righteous, which would be what the Jacob, and then you have what the wicked would be what Esau. Right, so in this story, you have what Jacob being the protagonist, being what the good guy. Then you have the antagonist of the movie, which is what Esau Edom. Okay, which is what the villain. Okay, and what is he doing? He's pushing everything that that is deceiving, while the Lord has everything on the as far as the men, what pushing forth the right-handed judgment. Okay, the right-handed works for as the prophets and apostles, right? Psalms 10:5, yet they succeed in everything they do. They do not see your punishment awaiting them. They sneer at your enemies. Okay, yeah, they are very grievous. And what do? They puff at their enemies. Okay, and one of the ways that they're puffing at us is what? This different, these different food shortages. Okay, paying the farmers to not farm. So let me go back a little bit.
And concreting all their corrals the animals are being fed on. Now, if they come to your farm or where you're producing your livestock and you're not up to their code, they will shut you down until you get it fixed. The thing about this is it's going to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to fix everything, and farmers don't make a lot of money. We're not rich, and they know this. So it's an attack on small businesses and local producers to make everything go upstream and upscale back to the big businesses and the big packers. This is something we need to stand up and fight back against. So if you're in the state of Oregon, I am with you. Everybody that's with me, make sure you share this around, get the information out there.
I will create an entire...
So that's going to create this right here. Second Ezra 15 and 15. For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands. Okay, you have over there in the Netherlands, where you have the Dutch that are what they're going up to these different different establishments as far as these different government buildings, and what they're shooting water at them. Okay, the people are basically protesting. Okay, and they're gonna have that's gonna happen more and more. They're gonna have more and more events as far as people fighting one against another. Okay, that's also spoken about in Isaiah 19 and 2, that Egyptian shall fight against Egyptian. What are they fighting over? They're fighting because of their so-called rights. They think they have rights in the society when this is not this is not your rest. Okay, you're controlled by what a totalitarianism society, Marxism society, okay, that wants everyone to have a mark embedded inside their hand or their forehead. Okay, so they can be able to watch everything you do. How many times you're with your wife, with your kids growing up, your kids getting dressed. Okay, you're buying and selling. Monitoring your food. How many times you breathe. Okay, when you that's actually what they want to do. That's what climate change is. Okay, is them being able to monitor every breath that you take. Okay, and that would be a measurement of how much you would have to pay. Okay, and each person is going to be different, right? Far as breathing, right? So everybody has to pay in a certain way in this society. Okay, meanwhile the Lord is the one that's giving breath, or giving you life, or giving you water, or giving you food, whatever that it is. But this devil is saying, no, I'm the one that's doing it, and you're going to bow down to me, because again, going into him having a God complex. But when he came at the men of the Lord, far as when he came against his truth, okay, that's where going over 2,000 years ago, when they pierced Yahushua. Okay, so that is the big payback, right? And we're seeing it happening, far as the curses are beginning to fall on these Edomites, these low-level Edomites, but even the Edomites that are at the top, as far as they're being exposed for their wickedness. That's why they have to throw something out like Puff Daddy, okay, which we know he's a nigga, okay, we know he's of the world, okay, but they always do that. They'll paint our people as the one that's doing it, and then they take away from the other, the Epsteins and the other guy, the director, the fat dude, right? So they take away from those guys, and then they paint R. Kelly, and now you got Puff Daddy, okay, and these things are gonna keep pushing. But see, those celebrities are all about it. They know that sometimes they're gonna have to be involved in that type of shit. Okay, that's what it means to when you sell your soul to the devil. Okay, that's your consolation. Eventually, you're gonna have to pay the piper, right? Isaiah 19 and 2. I will set the Egyptians against Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Okay, so the modern day Egypt is what America today. Egypt going into the, spiritually Egypt, America going into the bondage that we're in. Okay, we're not free. Okay, you are subject to payments. Okay, and you would be what the tail, not the head. Okay, you would be in madness and be in horror. Your communities would be full, filled up with, drugs and also, foul living, food that's not, far as dietary, part of the dietary law, you would be pushed on that, the pork pushed on the people. Okay, the concrete jungles. Okay, so now what? The Egyptians are going to be fighting against Egyptian. Okay, far as they're going to be fighting over what? The food, the water, the shelter. They're going to be fighting for America, to make America great. That's why they have Trump, because he's like a wild card. Okay, far as they want chaos. Okay, but don't get it confused that the Pedo Joe and Donald Trump, They're the same people. They're the same people. They're of the same ego. They profit off us being at the bottom. Okay. So in that, we're seeing the downfall of what their kingdom. Okay, and it starts with the inside, as far as the economy being destroyed, the jobs being destroyed, and that goes in also. One more scripture, Isaiah 19. Where is that? Yeah, Isaiah 19 and 14. The Lord, Yahweh Shemashai, have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man stagger in his vomit. So error. For instance, you had that bridge collapse in Baltimore. That's an error. That's an error in what Esau Edom's kingdom. Because what you see is, that's not just that bridge. You see that happen all the time, where these bridges just collapse. Okay, they're just waiting. They're below code, meaning that they're not of status. Okay, why? Because they have defiled the earth. Okay, their infrastructure is what rotting away. Okay, when you read and also what they're staggering in their own vomit, far as also look at their leaders. Look at Pedo Joe. Look at Kamala Harris. Look at the transformers that they have in their in their regime. Okay, that you see that are the so-called leaders. Okay, they look like fools, and they're being mocked and scoffed by the other nations, and then the other nations what see blood in the water, right? This is Isaiah 14:11. The pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of the vials, and the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. Okay, so again, that goes into what their economy. Okay, the worms are beginning to cover them. Far as they don't have no covering for what the petrodollar, that was nothing but a Ponzi scheme. Okay, because true money is gold and silver. Okay, but they're not backed by gold and silver. They're backed by what the the Federal Reserve notes, which are nothing but fiat currency, which is nothing but debt notes. Okay, IOUs. Okay, and that's not true money. But what this devil has done, he's made that a currency. Why? Because he would have the fatness of the earth. He would have the great sword. Okay, and he would rule these different nations with a continual stroke. Okay, but eventually that the nations would get mad and get upset, and the Lord would raise up those nations ultimately to be tools to come up against America. Okay, because you have where certain economies, they don't even want to deal with America, or they don't want to trade in that petrodollar, and that's leading to what the worms and the maggots were covering what Esau Edom. Okay, also going into their infrastructure, because if they had the money, they would just build it back up. Okay, but they can't build back better. It's nothing but an illusion. Okay, just like George Carlin said, he said, to receive the American dream, or to actually be in the American dream, you have to be asleep, meaning that you're not paying attention to what's going on. You're not paying attention to what that guy just said. We need to gather up, share this video. Okay, what's that about? Okay, because they're trying to get people to back them on them coming against the government. Okay, which is right here, 2 Ezra 15:15. For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition. So a sedition is a revolt against the government. Okay, why? Because of Isaiah 10:1, the unrighteous decrees that they're coming down. Revelation 13:11, where they're going to become Draconian. Okay, harsh punishments for not following what they want what they want you to do, their mandates. For there shall be for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So that's what that guy was saying. Okay, we got to do something against what our government. Okay, whether he's speaking about going out there and protesting, or he's speaking about actually being carnal. Okay, because again, sedition just means that you don't like what the government is doing, and you're speaking about it. John the Revelator, was sent to the island of Patmos for sedition against the Roman Empire. Okay, for just preaching the word. He wasn't being carnal. He was just preaching the word. So that's the same thing that could happen to us in this time. Revelation 2:10 speaks about that. Because they don't want a nation of thinkers. They want a nation of slaves. Okay? That basically just go along with the program. Go along to get along. Right? 2 Ezra 15:17. A man shall desire to go in a city and shall not be able. So certain people, you might live in a city where you don't even have a store, or you know, a grocery store where you have to go to another city. And if you don't have certain credentials, you're not going to be able to go to that city. Or if you don't have that mark embedded inside your hand or your forehead, you're not going to be able to go into that city. When you had the thing happen a couple years ago, okay, you had where at the job I was at, they actually gave me a letter saying that I could be able to travel because they have they had a time limit. Okay, they had a curfew. Okay, they had a curfew. I can't remember the time, but they had a curfew. I believe it was like 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. And that if you, because I worked at night, so if you worked at night, the company that I was working at, they give you a letter basically saying that you can be able to go to that city or to another. Okay, and we know that they have executive orders where they can be able to shut down the highway because that's actually what they were doing. They were actually doing checks at certain places as far as if you're able to even be out there. Now they only did it for like I think it was like for like 3 weeks, okay, or maybe just a week or something like that. It wasn't a long time, but again, this is this devil doing trial runs, okay. So again, a man shall desire to go in a city and shall not be able. So also these cities are going to be death zones, okay. You're beginning to see it in certain cities like Detroit, Chicago, okay, Baltimore. These certain areas where you have these different runouts where people are going into these stores and smash and grabs, which that creates where where these different businesses, they don't want to do business anymore, and it takes out the middlemen. Okay, just like the farmers are being taken out. Okay, then you have what the basically the middle class that maybe they own a storefront. Okay, but because of the violence, they have to close down their stores. Okay. So that's another when you look at these movies like The Purge, all the purges, right? The movie Bushwick, okay, the coming movie that's Civil War that's coming out. Okay, these different movies are just when you watch the trailer, it's this right here, 2 Ezra 15. Okay, when you watch the trailer of the movie Civil War that's coming out. Okay, and this is going to be the things that are going to be coming to a door near you. Okay, and again, if you don't have that horn of protection, that shield of Yahweh Shem Shai, then you're going to get caught up in the destruction. Okay, 18, for because of the pride of the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and the men shall be afraid. Yeah, the men shall be afraid. Okay, because again, they're not going to be able to have food, water, and shelter. Okay, even for themselves. That's why a man of understanding is going to be more precious than 04. Okay, more precious than a golden wedge. Why? Because that man of understanding is going to be able to have food, water, and shelter. As I showed you in Isaiah 65:13, that the Lord's servant shall eat, while the rest of the world is going to be in thirst. And that's why a man, elect man is going to be valued in that day. Okay? For because of what is that day? The time of Jacob's trouble. Okay, when all hell is breaking loose. For because of the pride of the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Okay, yeah, you're the toughest guys, all the gang members, the dude that's always on the block all day and all night. Okay, he's gonna be afraid because there's gonna be drones coming in, there's gonna be super soldiers coming in. Okay, there's gonna be dogs coming in. Okay, so these events are beginning to happen. Okay, because I'm going to go through, again, I have some different articles just going into this. Okay, as far as into prophecy, right? For because of the pride of the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. So, Uncle, George that he's lived there for 40 years. Okay, or Betty, she's lived there for 30 years. Okay, these people are going to be, taken over. Okay, if they don't have protection. Okay, and I mean protection from Yahweh Shem Shai. Okay, because no gun is going to be able to save you in the day. That's Esau, Edom's blessing. Okay, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability at times and that strength of salvation. and is a treasure to those that fear Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, those that fear the Lord and fear his ways, okay, and know his ways, okay, and know that the Lord's not dealing with you calling on Most High Christ bless. Because when this happens, when this truly happens, when it's just all out, you better call on the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and you better be of the elect, okay, as far as your works match up with, what the Lord wants, okay, and we're Adam and Ratazal, we're of that number. Okay, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy the houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Yeah, for great tribulation. That's why we need to be saved. Okay, so that was the food shortage, which, let me get one more scripture on that. And this is going to lead to what? Food rationing. And this devil is the one that's actually pushing that. This is, Ezekiel 4:16. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, behold, I will break thy staff of bread. In Jerusalem I shall eat bread of weight and with care, and they shall drink water by measure with astonishment. Yeah, with dismay. It's going to be rationed out. And read this in the NLT. It says, Then he told me, Son of man, I will make food very scarce in Jerusalem. It will be weighed out with great care and eaten fearfully. The water will be rationed out drop by drop, and the people will drink it with dismay. Because also you have where you have droughts. Okay, where these, the cattle doesn't have water. So if the cattle doesn't have water, the irrigation system, okay, then you don't have grass, because a lot of them, they eat grass, right? So in that grass, you have to have water. These are the necessities, the principles that you need, okay? And they're cutting that off. When you go to Sirach, it speaks about the principles that you need, okay? And they're actually cutting those off by what they're, by the different events that they're doing, paying the farmers to not farm, having the truckers, the truckers have to go through a certain mandate to be able to even have a license. Okay, without the truckers, you have no stores, you have no food, you have no water. That's going to create the rationing. Okay. So I'll read this again. Ezekiel 4:16. Then he told me, Son of man, I will make food very scarce in Jerusalem. It will be weighed out with great care, eaten fearfully. The water will be rationed out drop by drop, and with the people will drink it with dismay. Lacking food and water, people will look at one another in terror, and they will waste away under their punishment. Yeah, waste away, going into them pining away. Because your body it naturally heals itself, and when it doesn't have food or water and shelter in it, or it's like food and water in it, okay, then it begins to eat itself away. Okay. This is also something else that was going on.
European Council.
Okay, so it says emergency, NATO just shut it down, AI and Russia taking over. Okay, so what is that? What is that about? Okay, the NATO is what, again, part of what the beast system, which America spearheads the charge, and NATO has over 30, I believe 31 countries that are joined unto them. Then you have Russia, which is the Ryash of what the BRICS nations. Okay, where they're leading the BRICS nations, where the Lord said he would stir up the kings of the earth. Okay, to come up and fight one against another. Let me get the scripture real quick. This is Isaiah. And Russia and America are the two, major kingdoms. Okay, America being Babylon the Great. Okay, and Russia being Magog in Ezekiel 38, and the Medes in Isaiah 13 and 17. Okay, and the Lord's stirring them up, right? As far as they have the Satan twos, they have the nuclear capability. They're in a mobilization, which means that all their economy goes to war, or all their economy goes in. As far as their money system, their commerce is all going into war. Okay, Isaiah 13 and 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard their silver. As for their gold, they shall not delight in it. So they're not going to be doing any treaties. Okay, they're not going to be, let's make a treaty again. They already did that. As far as Russia, the reason why NATO was created was because of the USSR, okay, the Soviet Union. That was the whole reason why NATO was created, okay, so they can be able to combat the USSR, okay, as far as the Soviet Union, right? And the Lord what has risen up that bear, okay, when you read Revelation 13:2, that bear that's going to what be taking down that leopard, which the leopard is symbolic to what the beginning of what Esau, the beginning of the Greco Roman Empire of these Edomites, okay, going back to what Alexander the Great, which they're back again what doing the same things, okay, pushing forth wickedness on the earth, and now they're trying to what come with their new world order, okay, and Russia, even though they're being used as a tool, okay, they're set up major in prophecy to come up against what Babylon the Great, okay. So, and they're not going to delight in what anything they have to say. So let's hear this, right?
He says, I had an interesting discussion with the Spanish Prime Minister. He asked us to stop using the word war in all statements. He argued that people do not want to be threatened in this way, that in Spain it sounds abstract. I replied that for my part of Europe, war is no longer an abstraction, and that our duty is not to discuss, but to act and prepare to defend ourselves. Now, that Spanish Prime Minister, that came down from a very high level, and in fact, the United Nations and other government bodies that work together have instructed government leaders not to use the word war. They don't want anybody to be seen, anything to be seen of what's going on as the potential to have a greater global conflict. They want you kept in the dark until the very day that the elites and those with money run into their bunkers and the rest of us get rained down with nuclear fallout. Now, before we get into some...
That's right. And that's why we're telling you that war is coming, okay, if it's not already here, which it's already here. It's just brewing up. But the true, all-out war is not here as far as World War III, because what? The mark of the beast has to be implemented first. Jeremiah 28:8, the prophets that have been before thee, old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and evil and pestilence. So the war is on the way. World War III is part of what prophecy. Okay, and again, the reason why they don't want to say war, because they want to wait to while you're sleeping. Okay, but we're not sleeping as other. We're watching as well as praying. Revelation 8:13, and behold, I heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, woe, 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 to the inhabitants of the earth, by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of thee, the angels which are yet to sound. So the woe means destruction. So in this, it has World War I, World War II, and now we're in the midst of World War III. But it hasn't been fully, as far as the nuclear weapons haven't been shot from one end of the earth to the other. Okay, why? Because the mark of the beast has to be implemented. Okay, and again, the only reason why they don't want to tell you the truth, okay, or try to keep you hid, because they want to be able to catch you while you're sleeping. Okay, what is that? No, 1 Peter 5:8, and this devil's going to be coming in like a roaring lion. This is in the NLT, 1 Peter 5:8. Stay alert, watch out for your great enemy, the devil. Okay, the devil means deceiver. So the guy from Spain, and I believe they're in the NATO, okay, he wants to deceive you, saying everything's all right. Okay, actually, with that same scripture, let me go back to that. 1 Peter 5:3, when they shall say peace and safety, yeah, so that Spain guy, he's saying peace and safety, meanwhile there's war. Okay, you have the American soldiers that are already over there in the I believe the Red Sea, or over there in Hathas, that area. Okay, you have where Russia is already over here in the Panama Canal and these different areas in China. Okay, and then you have America all the way over there in Taiwan, ready to go to war with China. Okay, so and then you got the famines that are going on in the cities. You got the uproars of the people. Okay, going on. You got places, government buildings getting destroyed. So what is that president talking about? Again, but you have people in the world that are just walking around stupid. Okay, they're not paying attention to nothing. They know shit's going on, but they still in the world of that American dream spirit. Okay, 1 Thessalonians 5:3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them as travail upon a woman with a child, they shall not escape. So when a woman is having a child, these are all these different, it's a very trying time where they can control their, their bowels. Okay, they can control their, their strength. Their hair is all over. They're turning red or whatever. Okay, and that's going to be the famine, the bloodshed, the strife, the calamity hereupon what Babylon the Great. But ye brethren are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. So we're not in darkness. We're not in confusion. We're not in obscurity. We see the vision. Okay, and we know it's for a point in time. At the end, it shall speak, and it's speaking, clearly. Okay, with the food shortages, that's the end time prophecy. Okay, and now with what World War III, which is what major prophecy. Right? You are the children of the light. Yeah, so we're children of what the light is, the truth. And the children of the day, we are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. So we're supposed to watch and be sober. Okay, paying attention to what's going on. Okay, and when we see something, say something. We're the neighborhood watch for Yahweh Shema Shai. Okay, we're the neighborhood. See something, put the video, through the spirit, pray, and then put it to paper, or put it to the visual. Okay, feeding the sheep. Okay, being fervent in the spirit. Right. 1 Thessalonians 5:7 in the NLT. Night is the time when people sleep and drinkers get drunk. But let us live in the light, be clear-headed, protected by the armor of faith and love, and wearing as your helmet and confidence of our salvation. Yeah, confidence in the of our salvation. So our helmet going into protecting our mindset. Okay, where your mind is where your heart will be also. Okay, as far as where your heart, it's like Matthew 6:21, where your heart is, where your treasure will be there also. Okay, your heart goes into what the Hebrew word lav, which means your mind, your mindset. Okay, you're focused on what salvation and what it pertains to salvation, and knowing that these events have to happen, they have to take place. Okay, so this is 1 Peter 5:8. Again, it says, "What? Stay alert, watch out for the great enemy, the devil." There, that's Esau, Edom. Okay, that's our adversary, right? And adversary, adversary, or Slakia, the word Satan goes into the word adversary, and they are the adversary of what? Of righteousness. Okay, Esau, Edom, the so-called white men of today, the international bankers, they are what? The physical counterpart of the spiritual demon of Satan. Okay, but who controls Satan? Yahweh Shema Shai. He controls everything. That's why it would behoove you to follow what? The righteous path, because the righteous is going to win. Okay, while the wicked is going to fall. Okay. It says, stay alert, watch out for the great enemy, the devil. He prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. Yeah, so someone that's not paying attention, someone that's not firm in the faith, someone that is just doing whatever they want to do. Okay, they're not taking heed to the message, to what? Stay in the house. Hey, don't try to look at what's going on over there. No, stay with what's the truth. Okay, but you have men that are gonna what? They're gonna follow other ways. Okay, and then ultimately that's going to be them being devoured. Okay, devoured by what? This lion that's coming in, which is Esau, Edom. Okay, again with this military. Let's see, he may devour. Yeah, the ones that don't have protection.
Strong's G 2666. Catapino.
Yeah, so that word devour, right? But what pops out to me right there is the 666. Okay, here is the wisdom and the number of the beast. Okay, you need to have the wisdom to be able to understand who the beast is. Okay, which is Esau, Edom, and he's coming with what with his philosophies, his image, and he ultimately wants to have a stigma embedded inside your hand or your forehead. Right? To devour, to drink down, to swallow down, to devour, swallow up. Okay? And this is all speaking about how when a military comes in, what they swallow up the people. Okay? Either, killing them and then killing them and then taking the wives, okay? It says to drink down, gulp, literally or figuratively, drown, swallow up. Because it speaks about they shall come in like a flood. Let's get this word. Let's see, penal. Okay, it doesn't have, maybe the word, let's see. Walking about, roaring. Let's get that one.
Strong's G 5612. Horuamai. Horuamai.
Harumai. Okay, in the Greek, 56:12. To row, to howl, a lion, a wolf dog, other beasts. Of men, to raise loud, articulate, cry, either grief or joy. Yeah, so these super soldiers are going to be put in grief. Also, you have the UN soldiers that are here. So these other people from these other countries have came over here, and they're basically, they're sleeper cells, okay, secret spies and agents that are set up these different cities, so they can be able to, again, when something pops off, they have a cell phone, they have a debit card where they can be able to buy whatever they need to be able to have these certain events pop off. Okay, so again, roaring, apparently primitive. Yeah, of men to raise loud. Okay, and there's going to be a lot of grief. There's going to be what? Weeping and gnashing of teeth. Okay, when this devil comes in. So we have to what? Stay alert. And what? This right here, 9. Stand firm against him and be strong in your faith. Remember that you Christian brothers and sisters all over the world are going through the same kind of suffering you are. Okay, yeah, so we're all going through what? A different sufferings, right? So let's go, let's see. So I got that. I want to show some news articles. Good with that. Okay, I'm going to go up and just kind of go through these a little bit. See, to start about... Yeah, we'll start here. So this came out... this is kind of old. But we'll read it. London and Montreal subways trial surveillance for public nuisance suicide prevention. Okay, so a lot of people are killing themselves. Okay, it says weapons antisocial behavior among alert triggers for what to pilot. It says London Underground concluded a proof of concept AI assisted smart station to provide video analytics, real-time data insights, customers' behavior. A final report of the pilot lays out design principles. Yeah, so again, this is them coming with their pseudoscience. So it says warning signs will tell if the AI will metro patron is likely to commit suicide. Okay, so the love of many shall what? Wax cold. Okay, where your mental stability, where you want to knock yourself off, and now these people are saying that, or the AI is able to know when you're able to do that. How do they know? Because of your countenance, how you are. Okay, the things you've been watching, right? Let's see, Matthew 24 and 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Okay, so in that, what the people acting cold, what you're gonna have the people, what they're not gonna be as stable in that time. Okay, so they want to kill themselves, but we know that the Lord is the one that gives you the issues of death, whether you live or whether you die. You have people that try to commit suicide. Okay, what happens? They have a bullet in their head and they're still alive. Okay.
Strong's G 5594. Sucho.
Yep. So suko. Okay. Going into what? Psycho. Going into your stability. Yeah, wanting love. Okay. So in that day when you don't have no food at your house, okay, you're gonna want someone to bring you food. Okay, all the big Shirleys that just stay in the house all day, there's not going to be no Cash App or was it Uber Eats, okay, where you can just sit in your house. You're going to be wanting love. And what's the true love? Yahweh Shem Shai, because he's the only one that's going to have food, water, and shelter. okay, or have any type of mercy on you by having, a man of the Lord help you, okay, in that day. So wax cold, so going into, again, the mental stability, okay, and that also goes into this right here. This is Isaiah 24, as far as the earth, what, languishing. Isaiah 24 and 4. It says, the earth mourneth and fadeth away, the world languish, and people, it says, and fadeth away, the haughty people of the earth do languish. Okay, the haughty are what? The proud. Okay, languishing goes into being droopy and being exhausted. Okay, people are working, 40, 50 hours a week, or they might have worked 40 hours a week. Now they picked up a second job, so they're working, 60 to 70 hours a week. Then they're coming home to a demon, that no food cooked, kids are running around, okay, possibly a dude over there while you're at work. Okay, so all this leads to what? Stress on the people. Okay, and this is this devil what causing what the carnage, or the causing the causing the destruction in your home. Okay, and simple people, they don't understand that how this devil can do it. Okay, but again, he is the deceiver. How does he do it? He'll have where your job will fire people for no reason. Okay, they'll have where the prices go up at a certain store. Okay, or gas prices go up, and these all create where friction in the house, and this is this devil, right? This is Job. What is that? 15 and 35. Job 15 and 35. They conceive mischief and bring forth vanity, and their belly prepared to deceit. Yeah, because their job is to what? To sow discord. Okay, and when I'm speaking about they, I'm speaking about Esau, Edom. Okay, the international bankers, right? They conceive trouble and give birth to evil. Their womb produces deceit. So they're constantly involved in what the trickery of this world. That's why the Lord said, "Depart, from this world." Okay, far as not trying to be rich in this society. Okay, when you read, what is that, Proverbs? I think it's Job. Yeah, right here. This is Proverbs 23 and 3. It says, don't desire all the delicacies, for he might be trying to trick you. And that's what this devil is doing. He's trying to trick people with what? The illusion that they have immortality, the illusion that this is a good place. Okay, and that's leading to what? Suicide. Okay, and it's also leading to where they're basically saying that, hey, we have life. We know when you're going to die, and you have this certain amount of time, basically. Okay, and they can be able to use that to push fear on the people. Again, the trickery. Don't wear yourself out trying to get rich. Be wise enough to know when to quit. Yeah, so those that try to get rich, what does they lead to? They're going to lead to what? Them piercing themselves with many sorrows. What is that? 1 Timothy about 6 and 9. Okay, those that are, trying to fulfill the American dream, trying to be someone in the society. Okay, and what you see is that when all the people that try to be someone in the society, okay, what happens? They end up being broken all the way down. Okay, look at Puff Daddy. Okay, I was watching a video, Drink Champs yesterday with, and it had the Doc, right? Which was, he was like a rapper back in the, basically, I believe the 80s or 90s. And he was behind, the Chronic and these certain albums, these different albums that, he helped catapult. But what happened to him is that he was a great rapper, and then he got into a car accident. So then he wasn't able to speak. Okay, and he ended up being caught up, being around people that are millionaires, okay, and billionaires, okay, but he can never get it right. Okay, and that goes into the curses. Okay, that he had that great talent. Okay, but what he didn't use it the right way, and now what that talent was taken away, and then he was able to still see all the success of the music. Okay, but because he couldn't get it right, he didn't even get rich out of it. He's just around the people. Okay, and now he's in a mindset of the church, right? Trying to follow this one church guy that's down there, I believe in Texas, okay, that followed Martin Luther King, which we know Martin Luther King was nothing but what? Okay, nothing but a sellout. Okay, there's pictures of him with the Rockefellers. There's pictures, or not, Sakia. There's evidence of him being with different being man on man, okay, and him being, you know, rubbing shoulders, doing the things that Diddy was doing, okay, far as the what I mean by that, as far as those parties, he was involved in those things. So was Malcolm X, okay. So these are the people that were, you know, seen as stars in the society, okay, but they're nothing to the Lord, okay. They're nothing but chaff for the fire, okay, because the Lord's only looking for the meek and the lowly. Proverbs 23:4. Don't wear yourself out trying to get rich, but be wise enough to know when to quit. In the blink of an eye, wealth disappears, and that's what happens. A lot of people want to commit suicide because they now they have to live in an apartment. They can't live in Beverly Hills, or they can't live in these prestigious societies, these HOA societies. They have to live in the ghetto now. Okay, you see, you begin to see Esau, the low-level Edomites. You begin to see them in the hood now, okay, or they're at your jobs now, okay. They're working right next to you, okay, and they were once somebody in the society, or they'll be homeless on the street, you know, trying to kill themselves, but the Lord has them on something else, okay. Proverbs 23:5. In the blink of an eye, wealth disappears, for it will sprout wings and fly away like an eagle. That's what just happened to Puff Daddy. His money system just flew away. Okay, he had to sell all his assets. He's not going to be able to move the way that he was moving before. Okay, and now when it's all crumbling down. Okay, and that's a beautiful thing, because again, that's what happens when you're wicked. In the blink of an eye, wealth disappears. Yeah, all his respect, you know, his name. Okay, because we've been speaking of, you know, the apostles have been speaking about the name. Okay, how the name is very important. So now his legacy, okay, it's not going to be for the music and things like that. It's going to be for him having those, you know, being a drug mule and drugs and things like that. That's what he's going to be known for. Okay, that's his name. Okay, and again, that's in the, you know, I'm just saying, in the world. So now you done sold out. You did all that. Now you don't have a good name even in this world. And then you don't have a good name with the Lord, so you double you double done. It says, in the blink of an eye, wealth disappears, for it will sprout wings and fly away like an eagle. Okay, yeah, that's what's going on right now. A lot of these people's assets are beginning to go away. Okay, their bank accounts are beginning to be frozen. Bankers are losing their jobs. Okay, and what do they resort to? They resort to what? The sorcery. Okay, it says the FBI goes after YouTube history. What comes next? Right. So this is leading to, you know, the famine of the word. Okay. Are we getting closer to dystopian reality in the sight of the light? The recent revelations that the government seeks personal information about what you watch on certain YouTube videos. A lot of people would say, oh, yes, we are. As the report goes, federal investigators have demanded information from Google about some undisclosed numbers of users. They needed their addresses, telephone numbers, and YouTube activity. Yep, and I was speaking about that earlier. That's the information that they're gathering up, which is called data mining. Okay, when they gather up the information from your credit card, from also from your YouTube and your Instagram. Okay, and they're gathering up that information so they can be able to build the case. Okay, where they can say that you follow these people, so you're a radicalist, right? Even though we're just bringing out the Bible, okay, but they're gonna paint us with a broad brush, okay, as far as everybody's the same when everybody's not. You have men that are preaching the truth, okay, that are not being cardinal, like the Lord told us to do, and then you have men that are being cardinal that are worldly, okay. But either way, if you're speaking against the regime or you're saying anything about the regime, you're going to be in this category. Isaiah 29:21, that make a man offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside a just thing for naught. Okay, so a just thing for naught. So the things that you're speaking are approved by Yahweh Shema Shai, but this world doesn't accept them. Okay, so in that, they're going to be coming with unrighteous decrees, like the C-367, okay, over there in Canada, which they have, things like that here in America, okay. Let's see, another scripture. This is Psalms 109:2. It says, "For the mouth of the wicked and the mouth of the deceitful are open against me. They have spoken against me with a lying tongue." So they're coming with slander. Okay, and when you go to Revelation 12:10, it speaks about that accuser. Revelation 12:10, "And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and the strength and the kingdom of the Most High and the power of the Messiah. For the accuser of thy brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night." And that's what they're doing right now. They're accusing us of what, of slander. Okay, what they're slandering our names by saying that we're cardinal and things like that, when the true men of the Lord are not cardinal. Okay, but you have groups that are, right? And they're calling us black Hebrew Israelites, which we're not black either. Okay, we're in the light, which black means void of light, right? And we are in the light. So in that light, we're exposing the evils of this devil. And in that, we're going to be hated for that name's sake. Okay, reviled for that name's sake, which is a blessing. So this word accuse, right?
Strong's G 2725. Kategoras. Kategoras.
Kategoras.
Thayer's Lexicon, related entry. Kategor. Kategor.
Yeah, against an assembly. Okay, compliant at law, right? So this is the one I want to get right here. This word G58. Okay, the root of the word agora. Okay, which the same word is in Revelation 13, I believe 17, where it says by. Okay, and it goes into the same one, G58, agora. Okay, which is a place where you buy it.
Strong's G58. Agara. Agara.
Okay, agara. So, right, assembly, especially of people. So who's going to be judging whether you can buy or sell? Okay, these elites. Okay, debating elections for trial. So what do you have? You have where Pedo Joe, or Donald Trump, where he's saying that he's gonna he wants to bring back the shooting in public. Okay, the firing squad. He wants to bring back the firing squad, and we know there's going to be people being beheaded for that namesake. Okay, so they're going to be put on trial right there. Okay, right on trial. That goes into that accuser. That's them gathering up the information, saying, "Hey, we got this on him. This is treason, or this is sedition." Okay, even though we're just bringing up the Bible. Okay, and it would be in the agora. Okay, which is a place where you buy and sell, right? Buying and selling, all kinds of business. Okay, so if you want to be to buy anything, you're gonna have to have that mark embedded inside your hand or your forehead. Okay, as far as to be a part of their society, and this is where prophecy is bringing us. Okay. Yeah, and they're this word right here. Yeah, to raise up, stir up against one. And what are they doing? They're stirring up the people to rise. And again, Psalms 2:1, to rise up and say, to be against the Bible, because you have a lot of people that are against the Bible because they're invested in man on man, woman on woman. Okay, and the people are rising up, going into them, causing a tumult. Okay, a commotion. Right. So that's the accuser. And who's the accuser of thy brethren? Esau, Edom. Okay, he is our brother, but he is the wicked one. So he's going to try to come with all sorts of schemes and plots. Right. And one of them is making a man offender for that word. Okay, censorship. Right, and that's going to Amos 8:11. Right. So we got that one. Let's keep going. Yeah, the UN warns that Haiti situation is now Let me just look that up. Cataclysmic. Okay. Cataclysmic, relating or denoting violent natural event. Okay, tragic, devastating, catastrophic, disastrous. Yeah, because what happened a couple years ago? You had their president, where he got killed right in his own house. Okay, and his wife had saw it. Okay, and then she didn't even say nothing about it because they probably told her to keep quiet. Otherwise, we'll come and take out the rest of your family. Okay, and that created where you have that guy barbecue that's out there, okay, which a lot of those Haitians are actually Israelites, okay, so-called Haitians, right? But the thing is that our people have followed the ways of the wicked. Okay, and that guy Barbecue, there was a video with him where he had the Mason sign, okay, around his neck. Okay, because again, Esau Edom uses what these different people to be cult of personalities, that they're the enemy. You had Osama, what was dude's name? Bin Laden, and then you had Hussein Assam, or whatever his name was, the guy that he was in the they caught him in a cave. Okay, so these different leaders, whenever they came up, they have to paint what an enemy, just like they have right now, where they have the so-called Muslims being the enemy when they're just both heathen nations over there in that land, and they're not supposed to be over there. Okay, so in that these Esau Edom enlarging this place as hell, and it is his death, right, is creating all out chaos in that land of Haiti. Why? Because they want that land. So when they come up, when they go to World War III, okay, they want Puerto Rico and Haiti and the Panama Canal. That's where you're going to have a lot of proxy wars. Okay, skyrockets to over 15,000 killed. Yeah, so over 1,500 killed. And so see what you see. You see the UN. I just did a video about this Uber driver. Basically, was told by one of the guys that he is a UN soldier, and he was brought here and given a credit card and given a cell phone, and then was promised all these different things. So, and these are these soldiers that are here, okay, and they are UN soldiers. They're just walking around like nothing's going on, okay. And that same thing's happening, down there in in Mexico, where all those different immigrants, a lot of them being paid with debit cards. I did another video about that through the Spirit, and you know what I mean. So you see that happening, right? It says the situation in chaos racked Haiti is chasmic, with more 1,500 people killed by the gang violence so far this year, and more weapons pouring out unto. Yeah, so that's the Lord doing that. All right, Amos 3:7, Amos 3:6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and Yahweh Shemashai had not done it? Yeah, the Lord is the one that gives what the issues of death, whether you live or whether you die. Zephaniah 3:5. The just, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning do he bring his judgment to the light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame. So every day the Lord brings forth his judgment. Okay? And no one dies innocent. Okay? This is Job 4:8. My experience shows that who plant trouble and cultivate evil will harvest the same. A breath from thy power destroys them. They vanish in a blast in his anger. The lion roars and the wildcat snarls, but the teeth of the strong lions will be broken. The fierce lion will starve for the lack of prey, and the cubs of the loneliness will be scattered. This truth was given to me, a secret as thou whispered in my ear. It came to me in disturbing visions at night when people are deep sleep. Fear gripped me and my bones trembled at the spirit wept past my face and my hair stood at an end. The spirit stopped, but I couldn't see its shape. There was a form before my eyes in a silence, and I heard a voice say, can a mortal man be innocent before thy Most High? Can anyone be pure before the Creator? If our power does not trust his own angels, he has charged his messengers with foolishness. How much less will he trust people made of clay? They are made of dust, crushed as easily as moth. They are alive in the morning, but dead by evening, gone forever without a trace. Their tent cords are pulled, and the tent collapses, and they die. It says, and they die in ignorance. Yeah, so they die without wisdom. Okay, going into a judgment. But we have this wisdom. Okay, we have this knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Okay, that what gives us, that gives us life, gives us breath. Okay, because that same breath could be, the one that gives the breath, which is Yahweh Shemel Shai, can also take it away. Okay, Isaiah 33:6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability at times, and that strength of thy salvation, the fear of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is his treasure. So is it a treasure to what? Fear him. Okay, and these 1,500 people that got knocked off, they didn't fear the Lord. Okay, and we're gonna see a lot more death. right? This is, what we got? Michigan is giving refugees $6,000 to help with housing. Okay, so this is going to create Egyptian against Egyptian. Okay, when these people are getting $6,000 to help with housing, meanwhile you got people that have been homeless on the streets, going on, years and years. Okay, so this is gonna, and also this is gonna lead to them offering something in vain. Okay, the Egyptians shall help in vain. Okay, because a lot of these people that come in, right? They're just thinking the American dream. They're thinking this is how things go. Okay. Meanwhile, they're just being set up for a trap. Okay. That's why it's very important that we cherish this word, because we could be, simple like these people right here that are just going to end up taking the mark of the beast. Okay. Isaiah 30:7, for the Egyptians shall help in vain and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this. Their strength is to sit still. Okay. So it's not to help you. Right? 9, that this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. Okay, the seers before they were called prophets, they were known as the seers. Okay, so the seers are visionaries. They're able to see what the future, and so we're telling you the future through what the Lord's eyes. Okay, through the Lord giving us the vision to be able to see it. Okay, to tell you that these things are coming, that this is going to create bad times, evil times. Okay, Isaiah 30:11. It says, get you out of the way, turn aside out of that path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Wherefore thus said thy Holy One of Israel, because you despise this word and trust in oppression and perverseness, stay therein. Okay. Therefore this iniquity shall be you as a breach, ready to fall, swelling at a high wall, and whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. Yeah, so suddenly at an instant. Okay. So a lot of these, some of them are Israelites, but then some of them are mixed in with these other heathen nations too. Okay. So what do we got? We got WEF launching AI prepared control grid to kill independent media. Okay. And so this devil has always done that before. He's hired counselors. When we were building the physical temple, okay, what did this devil do? He hired counselors to be able to frustrate the building of the physical temple, which is no different in this time. Let me get that scripture real quick. Ezra 4 and about 3. Yeah, right here. And I'll just get right to the point, right? Ezra 4:4. It says, then the local residents tried to discourage and frighten the people of Judah to keep them from their work. The same thing they're trying to do. These different distractions that happen. Okay. This is all set up to try, the people coming with the false doctrines, the vocabs, the Christian church members, the pastors, these even Israelites that have 501c3 contracts. Okay, they are trying to disturb the work of the Lord, but they can't do nothing against the truth before the truth. Ezra 4:5. This is the point. They bribed agents to work against them. They bribed agents. Okay, and that's what you see going on. Okay, you could tell it just straight out when you read Exodus 20:14. It's actually 23. I always get them mixed up. Exodus 23 and right here, 8. Take no bribes, for a bribe makes you ignore something that you clearly see. Yeah, so like the IUIC, they don't teach the mark of the beast as far as it being something physical. Okay? So again, take no bribes, for a bribe makes you ignore something that you clearly see. A bribe makes even a righteous person twist the truth, which meaning that they were never righteous in the first place, because a righteous person is going to be straightforward. Okay? Just like our Lord Yahweh Shem Rashai. There's no sugarcoating. Okay? There's no, it's going to be nice. Okay? The nicest thing you're going to get is the name of Yahweh Shem Rashai. Okay, and that's all you're going to get, the things pertaining to salvation, and that's what we need. We don't need to be rich on this side, because this Babylon the Great is going to be destroyed. Okay, so those ignoring the clear vision, okay, is because they've taken a bribe, okay, or they've been blinded by the god of this world. Either way, okay, and ultimately blinded by the Lord. Right. So going back to Ezra 4 and 5, they bribed agents to work against them and to frustrate their plans. This went on during the entire reign of King Cyrus of Persia and lasted until King Darius of Persia took the throne. Yeah, so again, they tried to, they tried to frustrate the temple, and it's no different in this time. They're trying to frustrate the spiritual temple. Okay, and how do they do that? By their wicked devices. Okay, to kill independent media, which is what? The truth. Okay, let me get one more scripture, which is going to lead to what? The famine of the word. Meaning on the internet. Okay, now the word is always going to be with the men of the Lord. Okay, as far as those that are involved in the ministry. Okay, those that are believers. Right? But again, far as you actually, going to find it on the internet, you're not going to be able to find it on the internet or brothers on the highways and the byways, right? Amos 8:11, for behold, the day shall come, said Yahweh thy power, that I will send a famine in the land, a famine of bread, not a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Rashai. They shall wander from sea to sea, and from north even to the east, and they shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Rashai, and they shall not find it. In that day shall the fair virgins and the young men faint for thirst. Yeah, thirst of what? This truth. Because he that believeth in him shall flow rivers of living water. Okay? And so they're going to thirst because they're going to want this, the water. Okay? They're going to want the truth. Okay? But the time of grace is already going to be close. Okay? That's why we're telling you of these wicked devices that Esau Edom has to try to stop this word. Okay? What does it say? The WEF-controlled institutions are working together to round up political dissidents, so political dissidents, and punish them for the crime of opposing their dystopian agenda using AI-driven surveillance control grid. So anybody that's against this is going to be called a dissident. Okay. So a dissident, what is the example of a dissident? A people who are dissidents show their dissent. Wait, let's see. So this one right here. A dissident. A dissident is a person who actively challenges an established political or religious system, doctrine, belief, policy, or institution. Or religious context. The word has been used since the 18th century, in political sense since the 20th century, according with the use of the authoritarian governments in the countries such as as Italy, okay, and then all these different places, okay, right? So in that, what do you have in China, or what do you have in Iran, Turkey, and North Korea, or North Korea, China, and Iran? They run a very strict place where you can't just do whatever you want. They'll just kill you in the streets. Okay, America is a little bit more lenient, but as far as why? Because this is the belly of the beast, where they let you do whatever you want. Okay, but those places have more of a dissident as far as lifestyle. As far as like China, if you say something against their president, they put you in a FEMA camp. Okay, and they've been doing that, right? Even before the thing that happened a couple of years ago. So again, the point is political. So we don't have no fight in the race as far as political, okay? But we are on the side of prophecy. So going into, we know politically they push their agendas through the two horns, okay, which is the Democrat and the Republican, which goes back to the Roman Empire, the plebeian and the patrician, okay? Religious system. So religion just means to worship, and we worship Yahweh Hashem Rashai. But does that mean we gather up arms and go fight against the government? No, we know that's the Esau Edom's blessings. Our job is to read this Bible and go out and teach and trust in Yahweh Hashem Rashai, okay, and examine ourselves daily, okay. Again, our belief, doctrine, belief, right? Policy. So they're coming with unrighteous policies, and they're instituting their own policy. They're saying that you can't even have, have free speech. Okay. They're taking that away. Isaiah 10:1. Okay. And I like to read this one in the, I believe that's the NET. Okay. It goes into their policy. Isaiah 10:1 in the NET. Those who enact unjust policies are good as dead. Yeah, because you're being unjust. Okay, unjust policies. Okay, and these are what again, if you say something against the president, that's going to be offensive. They can be able to debank you, take away your money. Okay, those who are always instituting unfair regulations, and they're always instituting that. Okay, because of what? They're only fair to what the elites at the top, and they're unfair to ones at the bottom, which are you Israelites. So enact unjust policies. Okay, and these are what? Unjust policies, telling the farmers to not farm. Okay, or you have to be in a certain city. Okay, a certain place. Okay, so Isaiah 10:1, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and write grievances which they have prescribed. So they have prescribed these things. They thought an evil thought. Then in the morning they went to their think tanks, or they went to their, their laboratories, and then they gave it to their scientists, and then what they created the things that you see today that come on the people. Okay, and what do? They deprive the people of justice. Let's read this in the NLT. It says, or I'll read it. Isaiah 10:2, to turn aside the needy from judgment and take away the right from the poor of my people. The widows may be their prey, and they may rob the fatherless. Okay, and that's what they constantly are doing, is they're rape, rob, and pillaging our people. But now the Lord is restoring back the knowledge, wisdom, understanding on our people, so we can be able to have a protection when this devil comes in. Okay, when you read, again, these things are going to get more and more draconian. Ecclesiastes 5:8. Don't be surprised if you see a poor person being oppressed by the powerful, and justice being miscarried throughout the land. For every official is under the orders from the higher up, and the matters of justice get lost in the red tape and bureaucracy. Yeah, they get lost in the sauce. So when the Jake is killed in the streets, okay, and he might have, didn't deserve it, but really, I read Job 4:7. No one dies innocent, right? Okay, but he might have got shot in the street for a mistaken identity or whatever it is. Okay, and what happens? That police officer is able to get off. Why? Because again, the red tape, which is what Esau Edom. Okay, his judicial system, his legislation, his Senate. Okay, because this is his he's in his bag. Okay, he's in his heaven. Okay, so we'll go to another one. Biden administration issues toughest restrictions yet on diesel burning trucks. Okay, so I was speaking about that earlier. So the diesel burning trucks, okay, what does this go into? This goes into the famine that's coming, the physical famine, as far as with food. Slaki, I don't know why it keeps popping up. It says the Biden administration finalized long-awaited regulations targeted emissions generated from heavy-duty vehicles, including trucks, buses, latest salvo in President Biden's sweeping climate agenda. Okay, yeah. So the climate agenda, I told you, or I spoke about that earlier, and what that is they want to track your, how much you breathe. Okay, your breathing, you're gonna have to pay for that. But they're coming in the form of, again, climate, saying that, which is nothing but a scheme, right? Yeah, the new regulations apply to short haul and long haul tractor trailer trucks and additional vocational trucks like delivery vehicles, garbage trucks, school. Bear with me. Yeah, so basically what they're doing is forcing them to be under the zero emissions. Okay, so no more diesel, so they're going to be ran off what? Off their grid, as far as Esau Edom's grid. No private grids. It's going to be controlled by one thing. That's why you have, I don't know if I got it right here. That's why you have this right here. Bill Gates secretly deploying small nuclear reactors across the U.S., the media blackout. So because they're building their own society, these different 15-minute cities. Okay, so they need these nuclear reactors and things like that to be able to again, for the people in these different 15-minute cities. Okay, nuclear power plant known as, they have to have these different devices. That's why they're over there in Taiwan. Okay, TerraPower boasts officially joined the race to be the first successful produced deployable SMR. Russia, China also racing to create lowest cost, most effective version. Okay. So why are they doing all this? Because, again, they're coming down with great wrath because they know that they have but a short time. And so they're cutting off all the different resources that you see. Okay, New York governor says that state landmarks will be lit up light pink, white, light blue on Easter Sunday. Celebration of what? Transformer Day of Visibility. So this is what the American dream, okay? To be a transformer, to celebrate Easter, which goes to the worship of Ishtar, okay? Which it goes into the Queen of Heaven spirit, okay? Worshiping, again, because that right there, the Statue of Liberty is what symbolic to what Semiramis, okay? Which shows you that we're in ancient Babylon, okay? And then seeing the cities, the skyscrapers like that, that's showing you that Esau Edom's in control, okay? Because what he sets his clefts on, sets the clefts of the rocks, okay? The concrete jungle, the skyscrapers that you see, okay? And then you even see, and how you know who's in power, because you see him in these other countries, okay? And the Lord spoke about the Queen of Heaven spirit, okay? And that was a major thing that took down our people before, okay? And it's here today, the old dear mama spirit, okay? At my radio, or at my job, they have the radio on, okay? And every single day, it's supposed to be, it's 92 point, or it's basically a classic music, basically music in the 80s and 70s and things like that, okay? But and then they have the 90s now, right? And a lot of every day they play Dear Mama, okay? every single day they play that Dear Mama, okay? Why? Because this is the Queen of Heaven spirit, right? I want to get a scripture for that real quick. So this is Jeremiah 44 and 17. This is Jeremiah 44. I'll start 25. Jeremiah 44 and 25. Thus said the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Ashai of hosts. Host means armies, heaven of armies, right? The power of Israel, saying, ye and your wives have spoken with your mouths and fulfilled with your hands, saying, we will surely perform our vows that we have vowed to burn incense to the Queen of Heaven and to pour out drink offerings unto her. It says, you will surely accomplish your vows and surely perform your vows. Therefore, hear the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Ashai, all Judah that dwell in the land of Egypt. Behold, I have sworn by my great name, said the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Ashai, that my name shall no more be named in the mouth of any man of Judah in the land of Egypt, saying that the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Ashai liveth. Behold, I will watch over them for evil and not for good. And all men of Judah that they are the land of Egypt shall be consumed by the sword and the famine until there be an end of them, okay? So this is what's coming again. This happened before, okay? And this is going to happen again, okay? Because our people are still in that Queen of Heaven spirit. They're still getting ready, dressed in the lime green suits, and then going to the church where the Lord doesn't dwell in temples made with hands, okay? Nothing but, right here, this is Nahum 3 and 5. Nahum 3 and 5. Behold, I am against thee, said the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Ashai of hosts. I will discover the skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thy vile, and I will set thee as a gazing stock. Okay? So when the other nations see this, okay, they see it as a gazing stock. Because again, all the men have become like women. Okay? This is the point I want to get right here. Nahum 3 and 4. Because of the multitude of whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts, the sellout nations through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcrafts. And that's nothing but witchcraft. Okay, celebrating Easter. That's a pagan holiday. And the Lord what despises what those feast days. Okay, this is also Malachi. And again, he's going to lift up the skirt, far as he's showing the people, as far as the world, their evils. Okay, Malachi 3 and 5. I will come near unto you in judgment. I will be swift witness against the sorceries, and that's nothing but sorcery. Against the adulterers, yes, spiritual adultery. Okay, physical adultery. Okay, spiritual adultery, and against false swearers, against those that oppress the hireling in this wages, the widow, the fatherless, turn aside the stranger from his right, and fear not me, said Yahweh of hosts. Okay, so Malachi 3 and 5. At the time I will put on you on trial. So these devils are on trial. Okay, and we're pointing them out. At the time, it says, at that time I will put you on trial. I am eager to witness against all your sorceries and adulterers and liars. I will speak against those who cheat employees of their wages. Don't they do that in the society? Okay, paying you low wages while they're able to go on vacations like that while you can't go nowhere. Okay, taxing you and then not giving you your fair wages. Okay, I will speak against those who cheat employees of their wages, who oppress widows and orphans, and who deprive the foreigners living among you of justice. For these people do not fear me, says the Lord Yahweh Shemashai of heaven of armies. And those that don't fear the Lord are going to find out that the Lord is what going to put down all rulership and authority. The Lord's going to show his power. Okay, that's why the Lord's coming to cast down all those abominations. Okay. And that starts with what and also in all those lying lips. Okay. So let's get this. This is Isaiah and 1. Isaiah 19 and 1. The burden of Egypt. And Egypt this is speaking about spiritually Egypt, which is America. The burden of Egypt, behold, Yahweh will ride upon a swift cloud, and shall come unto Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. Yes, shall melt in the midst of it. Okay, going into the destruction, going into what those ICBM missiles firing off, going into our Lord Yahweh Shai, put in all rulership and authority, coming with that great sword. So this is Isaiah 19, and I'll end it in this chapter. Isaiah 19. Wait, let me I think it's Isaiah 24. Yeah, it is Isaiah 24. Yeah, Isaiah 24 and 20. It says, the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like the cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be in heaven upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh Shemashai shall punish the hosts of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth, which is what Esau Edom. They are the proud rulers. And they shall be gathered together as prisoners and gathered in the pit, and they shall be shut up in the prison, and after many days they shall be visited. Yeah, they're going to be rounded up and put into a pit. Okay, where they're going to be the first crop of slaves. And it says, then the moon shall be confounded, the sun shall be ashamed, when Yahweh of hosts shall reign in Mount Zion and Jerusalem before his ancients gloriously. Okay, so we're going to be put back in our land. And it says, the glory of the moon will wane, and the brightness of the sun will fade. For Yahweh Shemashai, heaven of armies, will rule in Mount Zion. He will rule in a great glory in Jerusalem, in the sight of all the leaders of his people. Okay, because going into the great light of the Lord. Okay, that's why it speaks about the moon and the sun, shall wane because of the great brightness of Yahweh Shemashai. Okay, and how no weapon formed against thee shall prosper. And I'll end it in that chapter. This is Isaiah 54 and 16. Isaiah 54 and 17. But in the coming day, no weapon turned against you will succeed. It says, you you will silence every voice raised up to accuse you. These benefits are enjoyed by the servants of Yahweh Shem Shai. Their vindication will come from me. I, the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai, have spoken it. So with that, call Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Kakodash. Shalom to the elect. Kwam Yashala.